Okay, so we're just going to review what we did in class today. And I want to look at first the folder structure that we created. So here's my main folder for my project, Card Matching Game. And you can see I have a control folder, a media folder, a model folder, and a view folder. Now in my main or root folder, I have main.cpp, the resource file that we created, that's the media.qrc, and then my .pro file and my .pro user file. So in control, we moved the main control CPP and main control.h. Media has the card images front and back. Model has all of the files that make up the classes in our model. So cards, deck, playing card deck, and random, which is our random number generator. And then view just has the UI form for the view. That's the design form, the XML that all of those widgets on our view are generated from. Okay, so that's where everything is in our folder structure in our directories on the disk. Now let's look at where everything is from the IDE's point of view. So the IDE presents all the headers together, and then within that I have what's in the control folder, my main control.h, what's in the model folder, all the .h files in the model folder, what's in the source, and it presents all my sources separately. Same folders repeated, but with the CPP files. And then forms and view, and that's where my view is. Okay, so that is, and then my resources and the resource file we created, which has the prefix file images and then the two card images. Okay, so let's have a look at the .pro file. So that's the project file. A couple of things. One, make sure you have this config plus equals C++11 so that the project knows that you're using C++11. So Qt knows you're using C++11 features in the compiler, so that the Qt IDE can do IntelliSense and correctly for C++11 features. Okay, so in sources, I have to list all my source files. That's .cpp. Now, if I insert the file through Qt, so right-click, add new, add a class, and I put it in the right folder, then it's going to put it in the .cpp and the .h in the right place. But when I first divide up my folders, I have to move stuff around, and then I have to go and update this file. Make sure there's no duplicates. That happens sometimes depending on the order that you do things in. And make sure that you have the this slash here is a new line character extending the line. So every one of them except for the last one has to have that. And everything has to be in its correct folder and its correct spelling. All your sources, your headers, and the one form is our view, the .ui file. Okay, and we have a resources file, and that should be the name of your resources file. I called mine media.qrc. Should match this here. Okay, so that's our .pro file. Now the last thing we were working on and the homework was to complete PlayingCard. So I'll look at, there's the PlayingCard.h file. Notice we're including card.h, and we're using map, the std map. we have scoped enumerators. I know they're scoped enumerators because I'm using the keyword class. So enum class suit and a list of suits for playing cards, enum class rank, and a list of ranks for playing cards. And then I have my class playing card, inherits from card. I have two static maps defined. I have one that is called suit strings and one that's called rank strings. And suit strings just maps my suit enumeration to the strings that are going to represent it. And rank strings maps my rank enumeration to the strings that are going to represent rank. So my getContents function that returns a Q string is just going to look up. Now notice the private variables. I have suit, which is of type the suit enumeration, and I have rank, which is of type the rank enumeration. getContents returns a Q string, and all it's going to do is build that Q string by looking up the Q string for the suit in the suit strings map and the Q string for the rank in the rank strings map. Okay, so that's what the .h file looks like, and all you have to do is implement the .cpp file. And don't forget, you're going to have to, this is just a declaration of these two constant static strings. They're static, which means they belong to the class, not to an instance of the class or objects of the class. And that means they don't get initialized in the constructor, they get initialized outside of the constructor, but still in the .cpp file. You could look at how we did that in our Monopoly assignment last year. We had to initialize a static maps of enumerators, so it's exactly the same idea. Okay, so all your homework is to finish that PlayingCard part of the model. So PlayingCard H and PlayingCard.cpp. And the only thing that you have to do for, well, there's two things. For PlayingCard CPP, you implement getContents, which just, given the suit enumeration and the rank enumeration, builds and returns a Q string. So K club or A heart for ace of hearts. And there's a constructor here that we have to build. So when we build a deck of playing cards, we're going to iterate through all of our suits and our ranks and construct cards that we're going to put in the deck. And rather than constructing blank cards and then using setters, we're going to define a 1, 2, 3-yard constructor that takes the suit and the rank, and then also, if you want, you can give a third parameter which specifies the color of the card. Now, color is on I added color to the card. Okay, so we have it's protected, and it's another enumeration. I have this card color enumeration here, which lists I put 4 colors in for now. For playing cards, we're only going to use red and black, but I wanted to give some examples of other colors, and I imagine that for other types of cards, we might want to use other colors, and we could always add more colors into this enumeration if we wanted to. So the card has a protected field color. It's protected because the derived class, the playing card, has to be able to set the color when I construct the playing card. So my playing card constructor, and we're using something called a default argument. If you only give 2 arguments, the suit and the rank, it will default the color to black, which is a sensible color for a default color. But if you give a third argument, it has to match type, so it has to be a card color from our card color enumeration. Then you're constructing the card for that specific color. So when we construct our playing cards, one of the things we'll do is, if it's a red card, a diamond or a heart, we'll specify red, and if it's a black card, a club or a spade, we'll specify black. And then one of the things we're going to add in card.h, we have get contents, which the controller is going to use to get a string that represents the contents of that card. So ace of clubs would be a Q string. It's also going to get a Q string that represents the color. And what we're going to use for that string is the color code as we would use in a style sheet. And if you look at the main in the controller, main controller.cpp, we already use the style sheet to set the background, and to set color, it's just another one of those tags, just kind of like a CSS tag. It's just another tag that we add to that style sheet string. So it would be color colon, and then in quotes, and the color and semicolon. And we'll go over that in class. So you don't have to do color for now, but those I put the field there because we will be using it in the future. Okay, so I think that's everything from today's class and everything that you need for the homework.